Warcry is coming to Ghur, and it's going to change the way that you play skirmish battles. Stay tuned to find out why. So, with the release of this new Warcry box, Heart of Ghur, we're going to see a lot of updates to the rules of Warcry. This is a complete overhaul of the rules, and the first and probably biggest one is reactions. Reactions are a thing that didn't exist before, but now every army has a reaction that they can do, and there are certain universal reactions. Universal reactions are things that everyone can take, everyone can do them, and those reactions are counter, which is when you're targeted by a melee attack, you can attack back for a little bit of damage before the attacks are made. You can take cover, or you can strike them down. Now, all of those abilities allow you to do something in your enemy's movement phase. Strike them down is probably my favorite because it's so easy to get out of combat in Warcry, and I don't like that because, like, okay, I charge in my big fighter and your guy just leaves. And I don't have any option to do anything about that. That doesn't work. Like, yes, you're spending an action to do that, but now you can use your reaction to strike them down and deal damage to them. Every battle round, a fighter that has not activated can make 2 reactions. But those reactions will reduce your actions during your turn. So, make sure if you're using your reactions that you think about what you have to do. Also, updated points, which will be coming soon in a new book for all of the armies that exist. They're bringing the new armies into Warcry. We've got new wild dice abilities, new universal abilities. The monsters are getting so much worse. They have special reactions that they can do. They have special things that they can do. Now, with Heart of Ghur specifically, this new terrain is going to give you new ways to play. The terrain that has the horn at the top is going to allow you to bring in guys from reserve early. So if your sword or your shield or your dagger is off or your hammer, shield, or dagger is off the field, you get a guy up there, blow the horn, one of your models can come in, so you can kind of manipulate when things are attacking and surprise your opponent with a model that you need. You can also cut bridges, and the bridge cutting is pretty cool because you take extra damage from falling than you normally would from just jumping off of something, and if you cannot be placed at the bottom, so if there's a lot of things on the bridge and somebody cuts it, you just die. It's awesome. It is a great ability. I think it's really going to change the way people move through the world if you're using the Ghurish scenery, which you really should, because it's awesome looking. So the Horns of Hashut are nasty. They are one of the most interesting new factions that we've got. They're kind of a mix on like the Iron Golems and the Scions of the Flame, because they're all about forging, but they, instead of doing what the Iron Golems did of just forging to make themselves metal, they really use that flame of the forge. So eagle-eyed fans are going to notice that Hashut is actually the bull-headed god of the Chaos Dwarves, but none of the Horns of Hashut are Chaos Dwarves, so it's weird. Like, we don't know what we're going to get, we don't know what that's going to mean, but we'll probably see some Chaos Dwarves since there's a Chaos Dwarf in the Iron Golems. So we're probably going to see more with Hashut. It's probably going to be like what happened with the Squats. We're probably going to see this start to trickle in, and eventually we're going to get our Chaos Dwarves back. So the Horns of Hashut are going to want to play kind of like the Iron Golems do, because they're tough. They're going to want to go in, they're not going to move very fast, but they're going to hit pretty hard, and they have a lot of really cool abilities that they can do to help them hit even harder. So the Horns of Hashut are going to do a lot of fun things. Their double Merciless Cruelty lets them score a critical hit on a 5-up instead of a 6-up, as long as the target already has 5 or more damage points allocated to it. So if you come in and you're picking off somebody that's already hurt, you're getting crits easier, which is great because their crit damage is really high. They have a whole lot of other abilities. They can throw Ash Bombs, which reduce attacks. They can unleash their rage, increasing their critical hit damage. They can just run people over. And for their new ability, because there's a new thing now in Warcry called reactions. So their reaction, you do have to have the elite rune mark for this, but their reaction is anybody that ends within 3 inches of them, any enemies, you roll a dice, and if it's equal to or greater than that fighter's toughness, they get 3 damage points because you're just breathing out this hot cinder, smoke, all of this like nastiness from the forge right into their face, and they're taking the damage from it. They're really powerful. They're going to hit really hard. Some of them crit up to 5 or 6 damage. A lot of attacks, a lot of toughness. These guys are going to really change the game. If you like playing tough models, they're not going to get the kind of toughness that the Iron Golems have, but they're pretty tough. So you can also throw reactions out at them. So the Rotmire Creed are the other army in this box set, and they are personally my favorites. It's kind of like they took Vietnam War jungle fighters and just cranked it up to 11. These guys are all about poison and disease and being sneaky. They are not tough, but they are fast and they can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Their leader, if you notice, has this big syringe, and that syringe is based on his double ability, or I'm sorry, his triple ability, lethal injection. Any fighter within an inch of him, before or after he attacks, probably before because attacking ends your turn, so before he attacks, roll a number of dice equal to the triple ability you set up, which can be up to 6, and for every roll that beats their toughness, they take 5 damage points. Now, if you hit something that you've lowered its toughness with another ability, which you can do with your double attack, blowpipe, so if you've lowered their toughness, if you've messed with them at all, you could do up to 30 damage before you attack. It's insane. Now, yes, that's the only model that can do that, but 30 damage is a lot. You could take out monsters, you could take out leaders. This guy is going to be an absolute assassin. And again, almost everyone in your army has a blowpipe, so they can lower toughness. And your regular double ability, which everyone in your army has, Gruesome Harvest, allows you to get a potent vial whenever you kill someone in melee. The potent vial allows you to increase the value of one of your dice. So if you've got a triple of 5s, and you say you're using your potent vial, that triple becomes 6s. It's an extremely powerful ability. They are going to hit really hard, probably harder than anything else in the game right now with that lethal injection. But they're not going to last very long, so you need to make sure when you're playing them that you are moving very carefully. They are not an easy army to play. They require a lot of finesse, but if you can get that finesse down, they're really going to be rewarding. If you're a Warcry player, absolutely. This box is kind of necessary to kick you into the new version of Warcry. Now, eventually they will release the rules as standalone, of course, but I think this box is worth it. You get 2 amazing factions, you get all this beautiful scenery to add to all the cool scenery that we already have. You get new rulebooks, updates, new cards, new tokens, so much stuff. This is 100% an essential buy for a Warcry player. And with all the new stuff that's coming out, you're going to want to be ready. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you liked that, check out some of our other Warcry and Age of Sigmar content right over here. I'm Clint with Bowles. You guys have a great day.